welcome back to the Oh Grow Up podcast. A new friend of the show, Ashton Wayne. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing to have you. It's been hilarious. We've been talking for like the last 30 minutes. I was wondering if we were ever going to hit record. So, I don't even know how to get this started today, man. We've already have stuff planned out, and it's all good to go. How long have you been on the comedy scene? We'll start with the basics and then move into our subject matter here.
Yeah, sure. So I started last March. I think it was March 15th, I want to say, was my first set.
Nice.
I did like 4 sets last year, March and April. Then I didn't do anything. I didn't hit the stage until January 10th of this year. So now we're in October. I've just been going hard since January. That whole time in between, I did write for at least an hour a day.
Dude.
I was a part of, Mark Norman used to have a comedy writing class on his Patreon.
I did not know that.
I was actually on that for months before I even did my first set.
Okay. He'd be a good one to his randomness is just insanity, dude.
I feel like I learned so much from that class. I still talk to some of the guys from the class as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he was at Vultures, I saw him that night. I was like, hey, Ashton Wayne from the comedy writing class on Patreon. He was like, oh, I thought we were just taking people's money.
He's funny. So I'd heard about that after it happened. I think Lusso told me. I was like, wait, we had that big of a name come in? Like,
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Curious how Vultures secured that. Like, it's...
It was brought to them. I know for sure it was something that the guy who was kind of running the show brought to them, like, hey, can we do this at your venue?
That's fucking badass.
It's awesome.
How much prep into your first open mic?
Well, let's see. I think I started wanting to be a stand-up comedian when I was 5.
Yeah.
When I heard my first Jeff Foxworthy CD.
There you go.
That's a true story.
So Bill Engvall's my guy. That was my
I love Bill Engvall.
end of the door.
Here's your sign.
100%.
Very, very good all-time comedian, Bill Engvall.
Same thing with Foxworthy. I mean,
Oh God.
modern comedy is basically on his shoulders.
I mean, really, truly, and the you might be a redneck thing. Like, I'm working on something right now. I want to try to bring back those kind of catchphrases because it's just a wonderful like premise where you can write 1,000 different jokes.
Yeah.
But not just go, okay, I think this is the best one. This is the one I'll tell. That you can just tell them all.
Yeah.
So
As like just machine gun him out there. Thad B and I were talking about like you don't see that a lot in modern stand-up comedy.
Mm-mm.
Like we kind of look at that as hack comedy, but at the end, it's like that's a formula that can be pretty damn impressive. Like look at Dangerfield, you know. I get no respect. That dude had 4 fucking decades. I got no respect. Like,
and that's my whole Dangerfield's like my whole act.
Nice.
Like I typically write jokes that are where I'm the. Oh, you got some? Is that
That's
Rap
a
and Rodney?
menu.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually performed at Dangerfield's before it closed, and
Oh,
I
wow.
stole one of the menus. So
As you should have. I get no
Amazing.
respect, I tell you.
Dude, oh, you got that voice down too. Holy
Dude,
shit!
I love Dangerfield. I've studied him pretty intensively as far as like how he writes his jokes and how he performs them. But I started off doing almost all self-deprecation.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, oh, I want to be a guy who like talks about hard hitting, deep. But before I even did my first stand up, I think I realized like that's stupid. I don't even have the skills. Like I don't have any skills yet. I haven't even tried it.
Yeah.
So I just started like making myself the butt of every joke. Because then
I
I
feel
feel like
the easiest way to get the audience on your side too. So
well, it puts their defenses down.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're not up there like I'm better than everyone here. And I think they trust you too when you're willing to joke about yourself. That is kind of I think a hallmark of a truly funny person.
yeah.
Because somebody who's really funny isn't worried about looking good or looking bad. They're just worried about being funny.
Yeah.
And so that was my whole I literally have jokes, even a couple that I still tell that I, like as I was writing it, I could hear Rodney's voice, you know, like writing it in his style, you know.
That's awesome. What I love with his style is it has a rhythm to it.
Yes.
Punch. Like it's so fucking fast, and it's like literally a rhythm to it.
Yeah, the beats.
And I feel like you don't see that too much now. Is you do have a conversational tempo, but like how many comedians be like, oh yeah, like they do. Was it what's the Japanese poems?
Haikus. They do haikus.
He's almost like a haiku form. Is like you know,
right.
syllables, 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 punch. Like it's insanity, dude.
Well, I think that's that's what the beats are. That's his pacing,
Oh.
but it's also I think about stuff like this a lot. Actually, I think that having the like exactly what you're pointing out, like da 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 punch, da 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 punch, that almost trains the audience when to laugh.
Yeah. Gets them inside that rhythm as
So
well.
it just you're every joke's creasing that groove, and so
Yeah.
theoretically, if the jokes are getting better, and you're not losing the audience, then the laughter should get better. Yeah.
I just have no idea how we would do that in an open mic scene. Like, that seems like something you'd have to get paying people to like stand the, because my biggest struggle is just open mics, dude. Like, I just cannot, because Sarah's in the back. Like, you usually have your two people sitting there off to your right, maybe somebody on the bar.
Yeah.
I hate being surrounded by comedians because, like, we're all just like, we're ready to get on stage ourselves, so we're not paying attention, or we just got off stage and we want to shoot the shit. Like, it's so hard to, all right, guys, pay attention to this rhythm. I'm really going to get the room going.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where when I look at those situations, and don't get me wrong, there are nights. I went to an open mic recently. I just kind of looked at what was going on. I saw the people that were there. There's like 5, 6 people. They're all scattered. It's a very sparse audience. And I just said, yeah, not tonight. Yeah. Tonight's not my night. I feel like I'm going to bomb. I feel like if I go up there right now, I'm going to do horrible. And I feel like if you think that, it's probably going to fucking happen, dude.
That's why you haven't seen me perform at Vultures in over 2 years.
Oh, wow.
I ate the hardest bucket of shit ever.
Really?
And I'll go there for the vibe, because like sitting out there smoking and everything, those really cool vibes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But something about the pillar, like those people that hide behind the pillar and start talking, I was like, nah.
The pillar. Vultures and Oscar Blues, they got those pillars in the audience. Yeah. That's part of it,
But I mean, that's what you're doing open mics for, is to get that skill there. It's just, I'm so
you got to get their attention
now.
You got to get their attention, right? Like I was talking to Mike Hammock the other day, and he advised me to.
He just did Kill Tony, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fucking badass.
And dude, I know. I hit him up like on. I think it was like a Wednesday. I guess we had just exchanged a couple quick DMs, and I just said, "Hey man, we've talked about it before. Let's get together this week. Like let's just pull the trigger. We keep talking about it. Let's just hang out. Mm-hmm. And then the next Monday, he was on Kill Tony. And I messaged him and I was like, I'm glad I asked you to hang out before this shit came out, dude. Or you gonna thought I was just trying to ride the wave. But he told me, because I was talking to him about this, because we have this, like, there's this thing that I believe in a lot, which is I think a lot of people have heard. You play how you practice. Mm. So if in my mind, if I'm going up in front of 5 people, night after night after night, or 6 people or 8 people or even 10 people, less than 20.
Yeah.
And if they're not all in the front, if it's not packed in and intimate, that's a struggle. You got to have like a real skill set. So I'm trying to develop that, but at the same time, that's not really what I'm preparing for.
Yeah.
In my mind. So I'm trying to have fun, and like taking Mike's advice, he said, do a little crowd work before each bit. Okay. So if you're going to go into like a bit about your, wife and kids, hey, you guys look married. Are you guys married? You are married. You have kids. Maybe do a little crowd work. That takes the pressure off the rest of the crowd.
Nice.
Because that's part of it too, right? When there's a small crowd, comedy is a shared experience. When there's a small crowd, it's hard to feel that.
Yeah.
And when you got 3 empty tables in between you and the next people, it doesn't feel. It's hard to feel like a shared experience. But when someone is talking to someone else in the audience, easier to forget that you're there. The pressure's off. You're not being talked to.
Yep.
And then go into the bit.
Yeah.
Then like Cal and Reese and a couple other guys have told me, like, if they're not in the front, step off the stage, bridge the gap.
I love seeing that shit.
And I'm down.
It's like the oh shit moment when the teacher starts walking in between like the students, like, oh fuck, the comic's coming.
Everybody's cheating, and the teacher starts making the aisles. Everybody's starting to scoot their fucking book bags back with their feet and shit.
Have you had any misunderstandings like with your like your crowd work? Like you're trying to get it off over here to a bit, and dude takes it too seriously or something. Or
so I think. I don't know if there's anybody that's like necessarily a natural at comedy. I do think some of us grow up in certain ways where we just figure out that being funny is like a useful tool. Mm-hmm. And so then maybe you're already like a funny person. But I feel like crowd work is something that I'm a little bit better at naturally than just naturally performing a joke.
Okay.
And I've had a couple comedians that I respect tell me to lean into it. So maybe that's kind of feeding that belief a little bit. So one time at Nanos, which is today, Nanos is a monthly show here ran by Joe Cruz. Shout out. This was maybe 4 months ago. I didn't go back for 2 months after this.
Ooh.
And so I'm going up late. It's a showcase. The structure at Nanos is a showcase. Then there's an open mic immediately. Typically, I try to get there early and get early on the open mic. I was late. So I was there was maybe like 18 comedians on the open mic, and I think I was 14 or 15.
Fuck.
So there's Joe Cruz's parents who were there every month. There was a table of 3 white ladies. And then there was another 3 top sitting in the front row, but like to the very corner.
Okay.
And my set's like not going that great, right? Of course, because there's not a lot of people. I'm trying to get them engaged.
You said 14 out of 18.
14 out of 18.
So
and that's
everybody's
after,
exhausted or out of the room.
and they're drunk.
Yeah.
They're drunk because Nano got them beverages, dude. And they're drunk, and they're all sitting, scattered. They're shotgun style, right? And so these 3 white ladies that were kind of sitting in the middle of the audience had been talking the entire night. And
fucking hate that, dude.
it's the worst. I mean, it's like, bring your baby to a movie theater. Why don't you?
Yeah.
What's the deal with you? And it's kind of it's very obvious to me. It was one of them who was like talking, and the other 2 were just kind of laughing and kind of going along with it. But there's one who was like constantly, I could hear her like not when I'm on stage.
So you just take the stool and just throw it at the fucking table.
Dude, you should have seen the look on her face when we jumped her after the show.
Nanos, bitch.
Yeah, right. Nanos won't away.
That was good.
Yeah, dude. She hadn't been that surprised since fucking COVID happened, dude.
Yeah.
And but anyway, I could tell she was a ringleader. I was already like in my head about it, thinking what I could say. And so I say a joke. It gets a couple laughs from one table. The other 2 tables, nothing. And that lady says something to her friends, and they're all just laughing really loud. Now she's killing from the audience, right? And I'm over here bombing like a sumbitch. And I try to keep going. I said something to the extent of like, "Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to talk past all the noise in the middle of the room." Like I try to kind of be easy about it.
Yeah.
You didn't hear a sound in that fucking room for the next 2.5 minutes while I finished my set, dude.
Fuck yes.
It was a brutal
Oh.
bomb. Because I'm not saying not from. No, I mean not at all. Because here's the thing: when you try, even though I try to do it in a nice way, getting onto a heckler when there's only like 4 or 5 other people in the room, and there's no the lights aren't off in the audience. This is like a tap room. This is a brewery show.
Oh Jesus!
So the lights are up, so they don't feel comfortable laughing at this lady, even though she's been completely like inappropriate this entire time for 2 hours. And so I just ate a bag of dicks the whole rest of the show. And then I was because here's the thing, I've never bombed all the way through. Like, although I've always found a way, making fun of myself, acknowledging that a joke bombs. I always find a way to get something, right?
Yep.
And this was still, I was still a lot more fresh than I am now. I didn't even see Joe Cruz light me. I was so in my head this night. And the next thing I know, I'm like trying to do my last joke. I look over and Joe's like right off the stage going, "Hello." Like this. And I go, Did you light me? Did I run out of time? He goes, "You ran out of funny." And that killed. Son of a
He
bitch.
is a funny dude.
I
oh
love
my
Joe Cruz,
God.
yeah. That's my buddy, yeah.
The
Joe's
last
my guy.
time the host that just moved, he's one of your high guys.
Eddie Rojas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when he said he looked like he's at an episode of Ozark. Oh my! It wasn't Eddie. It was the other guy. Holy shit.
Damien.
Yeah,
Damien Victor. And he does.
So fucking funny, dude.
He looks like he's on season 2 of Ozark. He's been in the stash for a while, yeah. And which is funny because all he does is smoke weed and drink a little bit. But yeah, he's got them sunken eyes, dude. Shout out to Damien Victor, the devil's favorite comedian, dude.
Next time you're up in the Springs, call me.
You heard it there. You just booked a podcast, Damien.
Hell yeah. Wildest Gig is also on our list as well.
So Wildest Gig, I was asked to do there was a comedy only. Now it's all acts. There was a comedy only open mic.
I hate all acts, by the way.
I never go to them, and I won't. No matter how much shit the other
Is that why I
comedians
haven't
give me.
seen you at Vultures?
Actually, Mondays is like the one day of the week that's really hard for me.
Yeah.
I would like to go to Vultures just to show love to Joe Bruno and to the Vultures crew, but Monday is a legit hard day for me to get out of the house.
Yeah.
In the evening, so
we're old men. We got priorities.
I got shit going on, but I was just on Joe just gave me my first book 10-minute spot just a few weeks ago.
Hell yeah, dude.
And I had a pretty good set. I felt pretty good about it, you know. Lots of things I could have done better, but
with less than 2 years in the game.
Less than 2 years in the game, dude. I'm working on it. Me and Drake got the same ghostwriter, dude.
Hell yeah.
Some guy named Quentin. I don't know. So yeah, my craziest story, show-wise, I was invited to do a roast battle. It was my first roast battle. Mm-hmm. It was my first roast battle. I was invited to do this roast. I show up. I'm roasting Eddie Rojas. We were just talking about him.
Yep.
He was the first round. Jose McCall. I'm sure you know Jose McCall from Denver. He's a crusher.
Not yet.
In Denver. He was a judge.
Also, call me.
Yeah.
All these name drops, call me.
Dude, get him in here because Jose is hilarious.
Nice.
Super interesting guy too. He was one of the judges. So to me, I'm like, this guy's really good. I want to impress this guy. I want to do good. You know, because I'm trying to build a reputation. I feel like everything I do is a reputation.
Yeah.
Well, I was a little sketched out about the guy who was running the show because I wasn't certain about his ability to focus and the work ethic that he would actually put in. No, I'm not going to say his name. No offense against him. I just didn't get the sense that he was going to really do what it took to put butts in seats because I know what it takes to put butts in seats, and it's not easy. Yeah. And I'm not kidding you, dude. We show up to the show. One of my wife's coworkers came by herself. There was a couple like brand new comedians that came. One younger couple, and then the guy who produced the show, his parents came. Now, the guy who produced the show, this is only important for the story. The guy who produced the show happens to be bisexual.
Okay.
Right? And his father, who seemed like he might be a little old to be his dad even, came with his stepmom. And I'm not kidding you, dude. The show was so bad and brutal that his dad, every time I look over, his dad was just doing this. Like, oh, God. He was just doing this the whole time. He's like, oh, my God. And his son's up there talking about, like, dating guys and dating girls. And it didn't look like his dad was happy about that. And the most brutal part about it, dude, this guy's really trying, at least. Like, when he's on stage, he's really trying. You can tell he's, like, prepared. He's thought out, like, how he wants the show to go down. And he's done all this stuff. He had a fucking cape on. Like, he was really trying to, like, he looked like a fucking magician from Colfax in Denver. And, which is kind of appropriate because halfway through the show, his dad and stepmom disappeared.
Oh, God.
I literally turned around and saw them walking out of the show. And he's on stage doing this.
Just watching him go off.
Watching his dad leave. And I felt sick to my stomach, dude. I felt so bad. And then the next week he hits me up and I swear to God this happened. The next week, the show was so bad that even Jose McCall, who's like a crazy professional, and the other, I think Macy, I can't think of her last name at the moment. Macy, she runs La Beurre Bee.
Okay.
She has an open mic at 9 o'clock, I believe, at La Beurre Bee, right behind Oscar Blues downtown.
I might actually do that this week because Monday we have off. So
you should do it. Come to Oscar Blues. Come to Oscar Blues.
Yep.
And then it's like right.
Well,
behind
I've
there.
mentioned Macy's mic numerous times now.
Okay.
Because like 9 o'clock on a Sunday. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, it's late.
But I've heard good things, so I can't talk shit about it. But
yeah, I think Macy puts on a good show.
I wake up at 4:45 on Mondays.
Ooh,
so
that's
good luck with that.
That's early, dude.
That's early.
That's
as
early
fuck.
as hell, bro. But yeah, then the next week that producer hits me back. I'm thinking this guy's never gonna show his face again.
Yeah.
The next week he DMs me and he says, "Hey man, you want to be a roaster on my next show?" And I was like,
Your parents gonna walk out on that one too?
Respectfully, brother, no. Respectfully, no. I don't
That
think
sounded like less than a dozen people at that mic when you added all those.
Oh,
up.
dude. That's the thing. It wasn't even a mic. The comedians that came out there just came to hang.
Fuck.
You know, and so there was probably like 4, maybe 5 audience members, and 2 of them left halfway through the show, and then he had to finish hosting the show, knowing his dad just got up and left in protest.
I've only invited my dad to one show, and it was so fucking painful because like I record like all the shows, so I have like my phone on the table. When I listen back to it, you heard my dad once, and then just death silence from the table. I was like, yeah, my dad does not want to fucking be here at all.
Yikes.
Fortunately, he didn't walk. To walk your own parents, dude. Jesus.
walked your own parents. And me and all the guys that are there, sometimes it's like a war story. Sometimes we're sitting around like, you remember that fucking split roast we did at fucking Wagon Wheel? Do you remember that brutal day where we all wanted to die? Yeah.
Fuck.
The judges at one point, my first or second round at one point, one of the judges, I won't say who, one of the judges looks at me and goes, it's time to vote. Was it me or the other guy? And he goes, dude, I'm sorry, I wasn't even paying attention. And he voted for the other guy. And I was like, you son of a bitch, dude.
Fuck, man. There's nothing worse than a show that you're in that is just tanking. You just like, you ever see like the music video to The Wall where the kids are just falling into the fucking meat grinder?
Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it feels.
Yeah.
I did, when I was over in Germany, we had a improv show interspersed with stand-up comedy. First bit fucking bombs. The stand-up comedian gets up there, just absolute falls on his ass. Next, like, you're just seeing, it literally just felt like very about like, who's the next asshole falling into this meat grinder? And oh my God, it was so fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, you have to pull audibles. I run a monthly show at Lebowski's Tap Room.
Nice.
And the show before last, I've been doing this thing. I'm not doing it now, but I've been doing this thing where I'm like booking too many people on the show because I want to give out opportunity. And,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I kind of have that like chip on my shoulder, like I'm going to be nicer than the guys before me. I'm not going to treat everybody like they don't exist, you know?
I kind of am the same way with the podcast. Is I want everybody to come on the podcast, get the love. Like, I don't feel like gatekeeping. Like,
yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's like we were talking about before the show. Like, you got to give people room enough to hang themselves. Give them a rope to hang themselves, you know, and then just don't invite them back. Sometimes I literally have booked 2 different people before because they wouldn't stop asking me.
And never again.
And so you know what I do? I put them up in the hardest room that I have.
Fuck.
And then when they don't do good, they don't ask to come up again. So
Humbled.
it fixes yourself. And if you can do that to a person, if you can do that to a comic, and they continue to ask, now you know you have a delusional person. Because we do see that in comedy. I just crushed,
dude.
And you're like, dude, your first joke got laughs. And then the rest of them, like, you didn't crush, you know.
So I was off the comedy scene, had to do something for work for about 6 months, came back, had a divorce and all that shit, and had to go to therapy for it, all that shit.
Gay.
When I came back,
I'm just kidding.
when I came back to the scene, like, I'm not enlightened, but I'm definitely now knowing my feelings, knowing like everything else, dude. The mental health on the scene, holy shit, dude. And
piss poor. Yeah.
not only is it like staggering in person, but then you go on their Facebook page and you're like, oh dear, that isn't just the character they're doing. Like, this is truly there.
Yeah. And it's sad. When I the 4 times I did it last year, in the in-between time, my wife and I were like, in the in-between time when I wasn't doing stand-up, my wife and I were like paying off debt because I'm kind of gearing up towards being able to do comedy in a way that's not going to negatively affect my life. But a big thing I would talk to my wife about, this is after 4 times of doing comedy. Like, I went to open mics before, kind of checked out what was going on. A lot of people say that gives you the confidence to go up. You see people do bad. You're like, okay, well, I can't be any worse than that. You know, I lost my train of thought. What were we saying? What were you saying, dude? Were we talking about something? Oh, I would tell my wife. That's right.
Delusional
I would tell my
people.
Wife. We can edit, we can edit that.
Yeah.
I would tell my wife in that in-between time when I wasn't doing comedy, I would say, you know, like a big thing that worries me is the environment. Because a lot of these people aren't very friendly. There seems to be a lot of sadness, a lot of bitterness. There seems to be a lot of smiling at the guy when he's here and then he walks away and you're like, well, why the fuck did that guy get that spot?
Yeah.
Why is he getting booked at that show? Did you hear he fucking, you know, they pulled him up to do the show in Denver? Well, you know, it's like, we can't just be happy for each other.
Well, and that, or it's the flip side, is you have people like, oh, I now have a list of people that I can like totally expose their shit. It's like, all right, backstabber. Like, fuck you.
Would you like the list of people? If you would like a list of people that you should book on comedy shows, please call 1-800. We are the bigger thing.
What's funny is there's a handful of people that know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's like a sneak diss, dude. It's like, I'm Kendrick Lamaring right now, dude.
What's going to be funny is when the episode drops and seeing where the subscribers go up or down. Like, oh, I guess we did have somebody that I didn't know was a
There you
subscriber.
If you lose 1 or 2 subscribers, we'll know who they were.
Hey. Well, there's only one name that we're alluding to, so hopefully that
That's true.
person doesn't have a network of
Yeah.
subscribers.
They'll blackball you. The reaction is going to be, well, guess who's on the list now?
Yeah. He hasn't even been a stand-up in forever. What's wild is we don't have, to the best of my knowledge, truly insane people like Ozzy Osbourne. I was watching a documentary a couple weeks ago. I was trying to tell you about this. I was like, let's save this for the episode.
Yeah.
So Ozzy's on tour like mid-'80s. And at that point, he was really fascinated with substances that go up your nose. And that he's standing around a pool. And I forget what bands he was hanging out with. It might have been like Motley Crue or something. And they're talking about how much stuff can go up their nose. All of a sudden, they have this out-of-nowhere competition about what they're going to put up their nose. Ozzy or the other band, again, like not clear on the details, looks at a popsicle stick that's on the ground, sees a line of ants leading up to it. He fucking gets on his knees and snorts up the fucking ants. Do we have any insane people like that on this?
Yeah, dude. I think so.
It gets worse, though. So the other person fucking whips their dick out on the side of a pool. Like, I don't even know if it was at a hotel or whatever. Pisses on the ground and goes to snort their own piss. The person that sniffed up the ants knocks that person out of the way and sniffs the fucking piss.
Oh, dude, this is a Diddy party, dude. This is a Diddy party.
So where's the baby oil involved?
Yeah, it was pre-applied. It was pre-applied.
Did you so 1,000 bottles? Do you know what that equals? 150 gallons of baby oil. Dude. What the fuck are you doing?
My first thought when I saw that headline, you know, because that stands out. Like, okay, there's like
Just a bit.
like we know there's videos of Leonardo DiCaprio doing some or whatever. You know, we know there's some celebrities doing some shit that they're not supposed to be doing. We know that's there.
Yeah.
The dildos, all the dildos they found, the hundreds or thousands.
Hundreds or thousands, yeah.
That's not surprising. But the baby oil, I'm just like 1,000 bottles. How many men's butts was this guy gonna take? That's what I want to know. And why is he pre-planning it to this extent?
Was fun. So in his defense, he tried to put out a tweet saying like, "Oh, Costco accidentally sent us all this stuff." Costco, the company, replies over Twitter X, "We do not stock baby oil." Oh my god! I wouldn't say that's cold. That's like this legit. Like, nah, motherfucker, you're not bringing in this $1 billion company.
They tweeted, they're like, "Hey, we don't do that." And by the way, I thought I told you that we won't stop. Hey, fuck them.
What was funny? So when I was growing up in the '90s, like, remember he changed the vernacular, calling himself a pimp, all this shit.
Yep.
My mom railed against that so fucking hard. She's like, no, like pimps are not something you should aspire to. 25 years later, all of a sudden, like, oh, Diddy got busted doing what? Oh, yeah, pimp shit.
Hey, mother always knows best, dude.
Exactly.
Shout out to moms.
But he's busted for human trafficking.
Yeah. Making terrible rap verses.
I can't believe he killed Cashmere, dude. Like,
Fuck him, dude. And
You ruined Led Zeppelin? How the fuck?
Yeah, I know, right? And he's taken, what was it, the I'll Be Missing You song that's supposed to be about Biggie. Ding, ding. And he took that from Sting without asking. Now he has to pay him like $2,000 a day for the rest of his life.
Fucking hilarious. What's the money involved, right? Nobody's suing him, right? Like, I think it's the feds are just like, nah, you can't be doing all this shit.
Well, I know he's in some kind of lawsuit with Ciroc. And some people are saying like, oh, that's why his time is up, because he's
Ciroc, the alcohol.
Yeah, which he's always had like some kind of stake in or partnership.
Okay,
but I guess he's pushing back on it, and some people are saying, oh, that's why they're. That's why they're going after him. I'm like, oh, really? You don't think maybe it's all the rape? We probably can't say that on YouTube.
All the grapes.
All the
yes.
grapes? All the man grape that this guy's doing?
I think that word dropped 30 minutes into the podcast. Be all right. It's the first 5 minutes where you got to be clean.
Oh, okay.
So it's all good.
That's good. Just like sex.
Yeah. Get nice and dirty after 30 minutes. I like that.
Fucking P. Diddy, dude.
It's insane.
What an idiot.
Do you think he's going to see trial? You think he's going to Epstein himself off the top bunk or something?
Yeah. I think if it's really true that he really has that much dirt on that many people, yeah, he'll get got. For sure.
Was at the white parties, right? That had like thousands of celebrities.
Oh,
I'd imagine even if you grabbed 5 to 10% of those people, you're still talking a significant amount of people per party.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he makes it, dude.
if your job is to compromise people, then of course you want as many people of influence
basically
as
what
possible.
Epstein and him did is like, cool, I got dirt on you. Now let's like, what kind of dirt does he have on old 45?
Oh, let's see. I don't know.
Because like they're showing clips of The Apprentice, and they're like, oh, don't talk bad about Diddy. I'm huge friends and all this. Now he's like, yeah, I never knew the guy.
He's such a good guy. He's one of the greatest rappers.
We gotta get you on the impressions there. Holy shit!
Oh, I have a lot of impressions.
There's Dangerfield, Trump. What else we got?
Dude, I have a lot. I have a joke that I do. I go. I just counted. I do a lot of impressions. I just counted the other day. I have 76 impressions.
Fuck out of here.
Number one. And I just, the audience is like,
the
oh
next
shit.
30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fuck the rest of the show. I'm running this light to death.
Fucking love it, dude. We're talking about jobs on a previous podcast, and I'm curious, like, have you worked for any big chains, any Walmarts, any Pizza Huts, any shit like that?
Carmike Cinemas.
Carmike
the movie theaters.
What crazy story do you have with those guys?
Well, I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations has passed. So I grew up in a small town in East Texas. I graduated with, I want to say, like 96, 97 people.
Holy shit.
So small town. Tyler, Texas is about 20 minutes north up the main highway. That has about 100 or when I left there 8 years ago, had like 111,000 people. All the people in Tyler could fit into the Cowboy Stadium, right? The new Cowboy Stadium. Newer.
I would love to play video games on that screen.
Oh, I know, right? The stadium's really cool. And my little brother actually has a fight that's online that he got into at the Cowboy Stadium. So,
oh shit!
Yeah, Cody told me never to bring that up, but fuck you, dude. You're my little brother, dumbass. Stop getting drunk at Cowboys games.
Next time, send that over. We'll clip it out.
See,
we try to do clip stuff here. So.
Part 2's already coming. Yeah. So yeah, when I was 16. This movie theater opened up kind of right on the outskirts of Tyler towards my hometown. And so a lot of the guys that I went to school with, a lot of the girls I went to school with applied to work there. Mm-hmm. I started working there like 2 or 3 months after it opened. Two of my buddies who are both named Jeremy basically showed me how to steal from Carmike. That's not their real names anyway. They showed me how to steal because we were all working concession.
Okay.
And there was just one big giant inventory for everybody. And essentially, it was just kind of one of these deals where it's like you got to get the prices memorized down. You got to get the math down. If someone's paying cash, you basically take their cash, give them their change, make sure you don't ring it up in the register so it's not recorded. You make sure your drawer balances out at the end of the night. Keep the difference. And
I would suck at doing that because I suck at basic math.
Dude, I
really busted the first day.
I swear to that my whole childhood I was like, I'm an idiot when it comes to math, and then I started doing that, and I was like, I'm a genius at math. I might be Bill Gates. So this went on for 2 or 3 months, and then my friend Jeremy, one of those Jeremys, came to me and said, hey man, I think Dan and this other guy, I can't think of his name, these guys were working the door. Like one was selling the tickets, the other guy's ripping it. He was like, I've been watching those guys. Because my other friend was like an assistant manager. He's like, I've been watching those guys, and they're definitely running some kind of scheme over there. And so we started paying attention, and what they were doing is the guy selling the tickets, if somebody had cash, he'd take the cash, give them their change, give them the ticket. They'd go to the door guy. The door guy would say, did you pay in cash? They said, yeah. And he goes, okay, you don't need the ticket. He'd keep the whole ticket without tearing it, give it back to the guy in the box. And so when somebody came for the same movie, sell them that ticket, and keep the money, right? So I don't know what I guess we were watching like a lot of Blood In, Blood Out, The Godfather and shit, and fucking Baby Boy with Tyrese or something. I don't know. We were watching these kind of movies all the time, and we literally gangster style went over there. Imagine me, 135 pounds, looking like this, going up to a guy, going, "Hey, I know you're stealing, and if you don't give me half of what you're taking every night, I'm gonna call the fucking cops." Knowing
How
I wasn't.
much was he? How much do you think he was getting?
Oh, I mean, I was getting easily like 75 to 125 a night off this guy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So he's
a
making
shift.
almost 200.
But it was only those two guys, so they had to be working together.
Wow.
I got a lot more from concession. I
How much
walked
were
out.
you skimming a night on that?
I got like a little over $600 on a Saturday one time.
Holy shit.
I did the math after I left because I never got caught. We would literally we would go into the bathroom, the closest bathroom to the concession stand, the closest men's bathroom, go into the handicap stall, stand on the toilet, and hide the money in the ceiling, and come back and get it later. And my friend,
Shawshank style.
I swear to God, yeah, we would be taking pictures with money like in front of the movie, like fanned out money, like idiots. I did the math, brother. I stole somewhere around $30,000
Holy shit.
in a year.
How long ago was this?
Oh, I was 16.
Okay,
I'm
good.
35.
Felony theft is 3 years after for statute
Well,
of limitations.
this was not in this state. I will say that. This was in a different state. So come get me, Colorado. You got nothing.
Holy
You'll never catch me, dude.
30,000.
Yes. Guess what I had the show for? Nothing.
Wow.
I spent it all on my friends. I bought stupid shit. I bought every CD that had any
all
song.
the baby oil.
All the baby oil. P. Diddy was in fucking, he was shaking in his boots. He's like, what, am I going to have to go to Vaseline? I don't.
You say you're getting CDs?
I was buying CDs. We Hastings. I don't know if there's Hastings in Colorado, or if there used to be. Huge
Hastings.
music and entertainment store. It was like the coolest store growing up as a kid, or at least where I was from.
Hastings.
Yeah, like Hastings Music. You could rent movies. You could rent.
Can I fucking type today? Holy shit.
Yeah,
Hastings
you can, dude.
Music Store. Was.
Type in. You should type in Tyler, Texas. See if there's a picture of it.
Okay. TAL?
TYLER. And see if there it is. Oh my God. Oh shit, dude! My friends and I used to go hang outside of there because they sold softcore porn on DVD, and we would ask adult men to go in there and buy us money. And,
Could you imagine now, like the way the culture is? Like, dude, you're feeding kids porn?
Yeah, they'd
Like-
probably kill you, dude.
Yeah.
They'd kill
Especially
you.
in Texas.
Yeah, in Texas, yeah, they don't fuck around very much there. I got pulled over in that parking lot one time. I had a lot go on there. I love that place. I forgot why I bring it up now, but
It was the craziest shit you done at a job, and then the stuff that
right.
you did with the profits.
So I would go there weekly and buy. I mean, it could be like a song. Like I'll just find a CD from years before then. And I'm like, oh, this one song, I know that song, and I just buy it.
Yeah, I do miss physical media, but it did suck when an album completely sucked and it had that one good hit.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I love the album behind me so much. Is there's really like one or two songs that I actually skip on there.
Yeah, that's a good album. It's a good album to have.
Amazing album.
I've got a nice vinyl collection at home.
Hell yeah.
I'm proud of it.
I think I have like 5 to 10 vinyls. So
Okay.
like, what I wanted was just the visual like pop to it. Like I think that kind of matches up somewhat.
It would make sense, yeah, especially in this scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here to kind of show like little bits and pieces of your personality, you know.
I used to do a podcast. Just it never really took off, but it was called the Bomb Podcast. Talk about bombing on stage, bombing in life, bombing in love. I think it was, but also the bomb ass decade, the '90s. We used to talk about flashbacks on that.
The best decade.
Hell yeah.
The best.
With music, it's bonkers.
Oh.
Like holy shit.
Well, we had Nirvana.
Yeah.
Remember Nirvana? We had fucking Usher. You guys remember Usher, dude? I remember being in the 3rd grade getting in trouble for singing Nice and Slow.
I don't even know the lyrics to that one.
Well, there's this one part of the song where he says, I got plans to put my hands in places I've never seen. And I'm singing it at school like a complete jabroni. And
Let's see here.
hey, it's 7 o'clock. That's my jam, dude. And look, he's got the talk through at the very beginning where he's like, hey, what you doing? You know I'm coming over, right?
What the fuck?
Be there about, give me 10 minutes.
You gotta love the 90s thirst.
Yeah, dude. And it's hard to find 90s albums on vinyl. It's very hard. Very hard.
That one, I think, is a product of China. Like, I jumped on Amazon.
China.
So I searched stuff with the Amazon like Prime because it should be within 48 hours. These assholes, like, yeah, it'll be to you. And then like 4 days later, your order's processed, and then you're like, oh hey, it's got to get on a fucking freighter and come in from fucking China. Fucking assholes.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Oh my god.
China just lie about anything. We don't know anything about COVID, dude. What are you talking about? Bats? Bats?
It's crazy that we're still trying to figure out exactly how COVID happened.
Who gives a fuck?
Like,
It was a fucked up couple years. Let's just forget about it.
It exposed a lot of things in our culture.
It did, right? It like put a lens on a lot of weird things about America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely showed you that the facade of like humanity is like wafer thin. Like,
Yeah, I felt that way a few days after it was like really. People were like really getting worried about it. I went to a Safeway on North Academy, and there was like no toilet paper, no paper towels. I have kids, so I needed diapers and baby wipes. Motherfuckers are buying baby wipes out the wazoo.
yep.
And I saw a lady. It was not cold enough to have a big, thick, pimp style coat. And this lady, I saw her stick a whole like brisket. It looked like into her coat, and I went, well. This ain't America no more, guys.
No.
Stay strapped. Stay strapped, dude.
How we didn't have a just what's the word I'm looking for? A continuous amount of people being shot in stores. Because we also, what was it, last year or earlier this year? We had the string of, that was the word I was going to, string. The shoplifting, like, mobs. Like, how did we not have just people just lined up, just dead?
I don't know. Because when I see that, I think it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
I've actually stopped multiple shoplifters.
Oh, nice.
In the past few years. I got in a fight with one at the Walmart
Should go
A
to
Street.
talk with Justin. Like, apparently Justin Ledger.
Oh, okay.
Leger. His store, he told us on the podcast, lost $3 million in a year. And then that wasn't the biggest one. So he called me later. It was $5 and $6 million, like in the last like 4 or 5 years. Like that was the individual years.
Yeah,
like that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it's like I think to those people, they're probably thinking, "Hey, look, maybe I'm not saying they don't need it. If they're stealing food or water, maybe you need, or a jacket, maybe you need it." But I think a lot of times, just like when I was 16, stealing money from that movie theater, so effectively, so efficiently, the best anyone's ever seen. Nobody stole money better than me. I'm the best at it. No taxes. No taxes.
This is literally his dialogue. There's no comedic spin to this. No taxes.
Of course I didn't pay taxes. Your friends don't pay taxes. My friends don't pay taxes.
Things is like, oh, that just makes me smarter than the government.
100%. It is a loophole. You can take advantage of it. Fuck it. You know what I mean? If I had enough money to not pay taxes, I feel like I wouldn't.
What's crazy is the top 4 highest paid like Americans, if they were properly taxed, they would still be multi-billionaires. Stop bitching about taxes. Yeah. Pay your goddamn taxes.
Oh, I think the rich should have to pay their taxes. I think we have too many rules and laws in favor of corporations. Yep. I think that's where a lot of it goes bad, is when you can just hang it on a corporation.
Between back and forth.
Not cool.
I think we should just have a flat tax.
I agree.
Whatever we agree on.
Hallelujah.
All right, you're 15, you're 25, like whatever the fuck it is, you're not an American unless you pay this. And like there's countries where literally their tax return document is like the size of an index card. Look at our fucking tax code. It's like goes to the fucking ceiling. It's
then you got guys going to the Supreme Court going, "Hey man, it's not even legal to make us pay income tax," and they're like, "Shut the fuck up! You're not going to jail. Get out of here." You fucking
assholes.
Get out of here. It's like the government. Anytime you say anything, I just came up with it. This is going to be a bit I'm going to work on.
There we go.
Anytime I hear the government, like if somebody tries to call the government out, or even just a reporter calling out a politician and they get offended, it's like a magician who you just said, "Oh no, there's mirrors under there." you know, and they're like, hey, fuck you, this is my life's work. These are my grandpa's magic mirrors, dude. My grandpa put this law in place so I didn't have to go to jail, dude.
Just a lineage of criminality.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, fuck politicians is basically my message.
I like it.
Ashton Wayne 2024, fuck politicians. I wouldn't have dinner with any of you, so except for JFK, because I want to see how long I can stand that voice. Or RFK, I should say.
RFK.
Well, Mr. Trump, the tax. Like I like RFK a little bit, but it's like I don't want to.
You know how insane you have to be to make Trump look normal?
Bro.
Like, yeah, well, we had a bear and we didn't know what to do with it, so we just put it in Central Park, for amusement. Like, a dead animal's amusing? You fucking psycho.
Like, where do we live? Where the fuck, is this Alabama? We're just poking dead animals with sticks, dude.
I have a worm in my brain.
Oh my god, dude.
And we shouldn't have injections of stuff like.
Well, dude, do you know how insane you have to be to do politics when the government has continuously killed your family members in politics? Like, dude, enough is enough. It's time for a change.
What I love, like, I hate going political, but it's still hilarious. Speaking of JFK, did you see the interview when they're asking Trump's like, hey, would you release the JFK files? He's like, absolutely. Would you release the Area 51 stuff? Absolutely. Would you release the Epstein stuff? Well, there's a lot of misinformation. Like, oh, you prick. What the fuck is in those files, man?
I could just imagine Trump. Hey, you wouldn't get it. It's very nuanced. So nuanced. Nobody knows
the least
files
nuanced person in the world.
You ain't
is saying
lying.
it's too nuanced.
He just says everything on the nose. Your wife's so ugly. He's just,
if he got out of the presidential race and became a stand-up or whatever, dude, I think I would pay for it.
We'd all be done.
But I can't have that person representing me in NATO or the UN or anything, man. Like,
but I kind of like it. I didn't vote for Trump. I actually have never voted in my life. I am going to vote.
Wow.
I've never voted in my life. I know a lot
You're
of people.
You're 2 years younger than me, right?
And I've never voted, dude. Mostly because I'm a felon. Probably from all that money I stole from that movie theater.
Don't have to worry about the statute of limitations.
I handled it so well.
It's fucking hilarious.
I just like the fact that he's willing to talk some shit. I do like that because, like, when I see these politicians on either side, right? When I see these politicians, it's just so obvious that they're all very disingenuous. They have canned responses. They're media trained to the fucking
I think that's
nines.
what's killing Harris right now is she knows she's on a tightrope, and then they're asking medium difficulty questions, but that pause,
she can't answer.
Like
she when you ask her a question here, she does this, and to me that's what
I think that's
politicians
what's gonna
do.
kill her. Kill her in the election is not being human and accessible. Because like they just had her on The View, and she's just like computing before she fucking talks.
Yeah,
Like,
well, she's probably a clone, dude. And The View, by the way, let's talk about how bad The View sucks. Oh my!
I haven't seen an episode of The View. When was the last time I was in a dentist office? So.
Jesus Christ!
It's been forever.
Who like the fact that they get so many viewers? I'm just like, how would you describe The View to somebody that's never heard of it? You're like, okay, just imagine you had a super rich grandma, and her 6 super rich grandma friends got together and talked about what they thought made sense for everybody else.
And they weed out any political dissonance.
Did you ever see? Maybe it was The View. There's a show with Barbara Walters. Was she on The View back in the day?
She was one of the original.
I see. So I think it was The View. God, I'm drawing a blank on the other women here. Maybe Rosie O'Donnell.
I think
I'm seeing another person, but I can't think of her name. Norm Macdonald was on years ago, and he goes, "You know what I'm about to say?"
Last person you went on there, like.
And they're talking about politics, and he goes, "This is like around closer to the time where Clinton was in office," and he goes, I just kind of wish that we get rid of the murderers in the White House." And Barbara's like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" And he's like, "Well, he murdered a guy." And they're like, if you ever want to get, she says, if you ever want to come back to the show again, I'd stop right now. And he goes, "Oh, what? I thought it was a matter of record." I loved him so much, dude. Norm was one of the best comedians of all time. Yeah.
apparently a crazy gambler too.
Yes,
Like,
yes. I know some gamblers here in town. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? I'll be like, hey, you coming to the show tonight? No, I'm playing poker.
that's when were you around when Battle Mountain was still going?
I don't think so.
It was right next to us.
Okay.
Slot machine place.
Okay.
Apparently got busted for like illegal slot machines, but that's what you could do. Just sit there,
Whatever,
do
dude.
your open mic, and good to go.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't know.
That was a rough mic, though. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It was
as most of them are.
It was just in a bad spot, so it was literally nothing but comedians, and they all heard your shit. They all just want to get the fuck out of it because it was also next to like the homeless encampment too. So we're all
So most of them live there.
Yeah, exactly. They just walk out on the curb, lay down,
Here I
fall
am.
asleep. How's Lebowski's? I haven't been there yet. Is that a good? That's an open mic or that's a show you're going to be doing?
It's just a showcase.
Okay.
The one this month I think is the sixth one we've had.
Okay.
So it's a monthly show. We usually do it like the Saturday, not the last Saturday of the month, but the Saturday before that.
Okay.
Lebowski's Tap Room, man. David and Monica, who run that place, their husband and wife. That is such a good restaurant. They got like award-winning wings.
Nice.
They just won.
You already have me sold.
They just won. I know, right? That's what you have to say to all white guys. Wings.
Yeah.
Good wings. And they have their own brand of Kahlua, which I don't drink alcohol, but we always take a shot of their Kahlua.
Nice.
Like a celebratory shot after the show because we packed it out every time. Fortunately,
That's fun. How many seats?
I think we get like 65, and it's
That's
packed.
nice and tight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's packed. You can't. I mean, I can't even. If I get any fatter, I'm not gonna be able to book myself in the room.
It's all outdoor shit now.
But dude, they have a great bar. We have a great setup there. And what I really like about that room is it's a tap room crowd. And so even though it's full, like you can't turn the lights down, kind of like we were talking about the other show earlier.
That's the worst. If you don't have a lit stage, it's anarchy.
And we do have a backdrop now, which does help kind of funnel the eye a little bit.
You get some of these fucking lights.
We need some. I'm looking at up in the production. I just don't. There's so much to learn. Yeah,
200 for both.
That's not too bad
yeah.
for both of them.
Yep.
Yeah, see, Lebowski's so tight. I'm looking at the footprint over here. I'm like, I don't even know where I'd put it.
Yeah.
But we do need to work out the light situation to be a little bit better. We've talked a bit about it. The owner's building a stage right now. It's put in the corner that we do it. But what I like about that crowd is that, when people are usually in that environment, they're drinking, there's music, there's TVs usually, so they're talking loud. People are yelling at each other in that kind of environment. Mm-hmm. And then we cut the TVs off. We shut the fucking music off, and then we go up there and we do comedy, and that's why I think whoever the host is, I think this is always true. I always think the host is kind of the most important person on the show, right? But in that room, you have to be able to, because it's almost that room is never like, hey, keep your table talk to a minimum, and then they quiet down.
Yeah,
you got to be like, hey, did you hear me? I said table talk. We're doing a show now.
Yeah,
and. Mikey Taylor did that exact thing at
Sounds
the last
like a
Lebowski's.
Boston Mike.
Yeah.
Got to fight the crowd the whole time.
Where's our cheddar poppers?
The clam chowder.
Clam chowder. Oh, God, Steven. That was a horrible joke about abortion.
Did you watch Kill Tony this week?
Yeah.
Did you see Luke Stam's set? Another shout out.
His second in like a month.
That microwave. I've never heard that microwave bit.
I haven't either. Yeah.
Holy shit, that was dark.
Dude, Luke and I are working on some stuff.
I also had him on the podcast. So
did you?
Yeah, twice.
Luke's very funny.
I had him before you, Tony.
Yeah. Shout out. Put your dukes up. We, in comedy, especially when you're new, you get, like if you get a compliment from a comedian you respect, you kind of like ride that for a long time. Or if an audience member tells you they thought you were funny, you kind of have to just ride that until you get the next one. Yeah. Because it is brutal, right? You might have a good set somewhere, and then your next 3 shows have 5, 6, 7 people. They're all spread out, and it's rough pickings, slim pickings.
Yep.
Luke Stam was on our first show at Sarah's Place and Back, which is where we have our weekly show. We don't do the monthly showcases there anymore because of the seating.
That is a weird spot for like was it bar height tables and stuff? Yeah, it just doesn't work.
And I like the venue. They have a great setup, but the chairs. I'm just not willing to pay for the chairs or rent the chairs. I'm not going to come out of pocket, for the show. So, But we threw him on because he happened to be in town. This is like his first time back after he moved to Austin, and we put him on. He did his thing, and then I went up a little later in the show. And it was my first time using this. So that joke's now my closer. When I do anything longer than 5 minutes, it's my closer.
Nice.
But it's like a 15-second joke. And this whole joke, because usually my beats are pretty quick. I try to keep my jokes pretty short, or I have multiple tags in there to try to keep the pace, right?
Yep.
And then my closer is just no laughter for a minute. And that's the joke has to be that way. For this joke to work, that's what has to happen. And so I did it. It went really well. I was kind of surprised because it is kind of a dark joke. And I was surprised because, Luke's pretty dark. And some of his darker material that night wasn't going so good. So I was over there sweating bullets. I was sweating bullets because I was looking around the crowd too. And it's like a lot of older people. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
This might not be the right night to try this, but I'm doing 7. So
I think if they survive Luke's stam, I think you're okay.
yeah. And Luke's a great comic.
Yeah.
Luke's a great comic.
But
He's a phenomenal
boys,
joke
he
writer.
clean a fucking room.
And Luke's to me, he's like almost like a comics comic. He says shit that I wish, because I'm too worried about like other stuff, but I'm like, I think those same thoughts,
my employer would fucking kill me.
Well, there you go. That's something. Yeah, we all have things to think about like that. But I got off stage after doing that joke, and he was like, yeah, the whole time you were doing that joke, I was thinking, come on, hurry up, come on, get to the fucking punch. What's going on? And he went, but then I heard the punch. It was worth it.
Hell,
I was like, I fucking wrote that for like a month, probably. Like, Luke Stanson, like, because Luke's good, dude.
He's
really
damn
good.
And here's the crazy thing: he's been on the scene less than 5 years.
Yep.
Like
he found his calling. Yeah.
Rocket fuel, dude.
Yes.
It was funny. I watched the episode. He was talking. He said he had to let his parents know that he was consuming some illicit substances before that episode dropped. That had to have been an awkward conversation. Hey, Mom, I have a cocaine problem. The reason I'm telling you is it's going to be public knowledge in about 2 weeks.
Hey, dude. I mean, the guy had the energy on stage.
Dude.
So why are we worried about it? No.
That mustache. That's my only critique, Luke, is that mustache is painful.
No, I think, and I hope Luke hears this, I think, because I know Luke a little bit, I think the mustache is doing exactly what he wants it to do, which is run ladies away. Or at least that's just what I'm assuming. I don't know.
I don't know.
I like Luke. Luke and I are kind of working on some stuff for early next year.
That's awesome.
As far as between...
Is that stand-up? Or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're trying to set some stuff up like between here and Austin. That way him and a couple of the bigger like guys can come this way, hit some shows, do some shows here.
Holy shit.
And then when we get ready to turn around, we'll do the same thing the other direction. So...
Well, if you want to kick any of those guys my way.
Hey, I will. I will, dude.
Well, I'm expanding here too, man. I'm absolutely
I know you
loving
are.
it. So, we got anything? We did your show. Lebowski's Tap Room, 26 August, 8 p.m., which is, in a couple weeks. Good. So, you got anything else coming up?
Club Palms, November 2nd. That's a brand new venue. The first show we were hoping would be this month. They wanted to push it back till next month. Sammy Beeson is headlining that. She just won Best of Fest at the Colorado Springs Comedy Festival, hosted by the legendary Loonies.
How the fuck does Tony Hinchcliffe not know Loonies?
I don't know.
He was grilling Luke Stam, like, where are you from? He's like, Loonies.
Yeah.
He's like, who the fuck? Like,
yeah, well,
it's been around since the 80s, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it was called something else back in the day, wasn't it? Didn't it have a different name?
That's a good question. I think it did merge with somebody. Okay.
Well, but the way I think about it is, Denver's right up the street. That's probably the 4th biggest scene on earth. So, behind Austin, New York, and L.A.
Yeah.
So hard to not know what the fuck's going on an hour down the street when there's so much going on.
Truth.
This other way. And I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that.
But you said she won the festival.
Yeah, she won the fest, and she's like a year and a half in.
Dude.
And she won she made it to the night before that. They had this tournament-style roast battle, which John Rummery won. I just featured for him at Oscar Blues recently.
There you go.
Shout out Rummery.
Call me.
Yeah, he's very funny. You'll have a good time with him for sure. You should get all the Loonies people. Get Tracy, get Thad, get Cameron. Yeah, get
Tracy.
all
I've had. I'm trying to get her back on.
She's cool.
I think some content on the podcast pushed her away for a little bit, but I'm changing stuff up. Tracy,
That's right. That's right. No more pro-communism
Yeah.
podcast. China. I'm just going to say China every chance I get, dude. And then, yesterday we met. I don't want to say the name of the venue yet because we're still ironing out the details. But
Madison Square Garden.
MSG. I'm going to slam Andre the Giant in the middle of MSG in front of 93.
He might be lighter now that he's decayed a little bit.
You know, I can pick up them bones, dude. The big old heavy German bones he had.
French.
Was he French?
Yep.
I thought he was German my whole life. Really?
Wow.
You're probably right.
Like 90% sure.
I thought French were a small people. I don't know. I've never left the greatest country on earth, America, because why would I? You know?
Andre the Giant.
Oh, look, he had the little
French professional wrestler.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Apparently he bounced around a lot before that weight got packed on. He had the
Yeah.
height, and it was insane as he had the speed.
Well, his back was real jacked up, too.
Yeah.
Probably from the weight and just being a giant, you know.
So the giganticism or whatever, right as it was starting to turn on him, they're discovering like how to minimize that stuff.
Oh.
Like the reason why we still have like the Big Show is like they medically like capped that because basically the body just never stops growing, and that's basically what killed Andre. I think his heart just got too damn big. So
Yikes. That's brutal.
did you see the documentary? I think
Yeah,
it was
I did.
ESPN. Holy
Yeah.
shit, that was dark.
Yeah. Did you ever hear the stories about? We were talking about P. Diddy and the baby oil. Did you ever?
Transition right there.
Did you? I know, right? Did you ever hear Hulk Hogan talking about how Andre the Giant would beat the shit out of Macho Man
Yeah.
Randy Savage?
No baby oil.
No baby oil. Yeah.
He just ragged all that motherfucker. That's that big dude too.
But dude, it
man.
makes sense that he was French. Look how bad his teeth were. Like,
Dude, those things are real bad.
yeah, dude said "C'est la vie" to the toothbrush. Dude. Like he body slammed his hygienist. You know.
Macho Man, height 6'1",
Oh yeah.
237, and he threw him around like a child.
And apparently Macho was always afraid, like, this guy's gonna kill me one day in the ring.
Yeah.
Because he won't stop stomping on me, smacking me as hard as he can. Yeah.
Apparently his thing was to step on hair and then
Yep.
pull up on the person. Like, fuck, yo.
Like, why, Andre?
What was crazy is Jake the Snake story, because apparently he drove him like to the next venue.
Okay.
And he's like, beer. Like,
Oh, right,
what the
right.
fuck? And he gets him like a 24 pack, and he kills it like in 2 hours.
Well, have you ever seen the picture of him holding a beer?
It's
it looks like a
insane.
baby bottle.
I would love to see him hold that liquid death just to see that shit.
Oh, baby. Oh, yeah.
Who's the guy that's doing that right now? He's doing a bunch of Macho Man shit, dude. It's fucking hilarious.
The guy who goes around dressed as Macho to like the
no,
events?
the guy annoys the fuck out of me. Stand up.
Oh, he's a stand-up. Okay.
Yeah, comedian, Macho Man impression.
I know there's
Dan
a...
Soder.
Oh, I should have known that.
Holy shit,
Dude, he's
that's
hilarious.
a good one. Yeah.
He does a good Macho Man. He does a very good Macho Man. Taheem Davis does a good Macho Man as well.
Really?
Yeah, he
I
does
got
a pretty
him,
good Macho.
I think next week is on the
Dude.
show. So,
Yeah.
all right, I'm writing that down.
You should check him out.
Oh,
And Taheem, matter of fact, Taheem and I are both booked on the 27th of November in Denver at a new show ran by Dan Mazuka, who's the booker of the Improv. It's at a place called The W
Holy
on Colfax.
shit.
So if we don't get robbed or carjacked or taken by Haitians.
When in Denver.
Yeah, I know, right? What a different...
I did last year. I was thinking about parking my car there so I could fly back to New Jersey. 500 fucking car break-ins around the airport alone. Doesn't even include the whole city. Just 500.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. Like we have to be tough on criminals, I think.
Yeah.
Because we want to live in a yeah, you know, that's what our thought in Texas was, you know. Just shoot him, dude. I grew up, this is not a lie, my grandpa told me if you ever have to shoot a guy, just shoot him and then put a screwdriver in his hand and said he came at you with the screwdriver.
Just wipe the prints real quick.
Yeah.
Alrighty, man. We're actually at an hour. I was aiming for 30 minutes, so thank you for the content there.
Dude, thank you.
Any other parting words? We got all your mics, all your shows. Sarah's in the back. Wednesdays, 7 start.
7 p.m. Start time 6:30. Sign up.
6:30 sign up.
Winner gets
30
$50.
minutes. Okay.
Yeah, winner gets $50. We don't want people hanging out too much. We want them to come in and get the show going.
Yeah.
You know, the winner gets $50. The first 5 audience members, if they sit in the front and stay for the show, they all get a giant free mug of domestic beer.
Holy shit.
So, or if you want to pay $1, you can get an imported beer
Oh, yeah.
mug. So,
Corona.
yeah,
Love Corona.
Corona, 19. Does it make you have to be 21 to drink? Stupid.
We got to get you on some Trump shit here.
I know. I'll be doing Trump
that.
tonight at Nano's. Don't worry.
Be fucking hilarious. Alrighty, well, I think we're good to go. It was great seeing you for the first time, dude. Always fun having new people on the show. So I hope to see you at an open mic soon. I just got to get my life together. So,
Yeah, dude.
any parting words?
I appreciate you having me on. I love comedy. Support your local comedy scene, whether you're in Colorado Springs or not. Yeah, God bless America.
There you go. Have a good week, y'all. Bye.